big fella, you gonna be ecstatic come summer. Atlanta, Columbus, Atlanta, y'all make sure y'all give the big fella some extra tickets for the summer because make no mistake about it, the big news surrounding sports happened to be one Angel Reese. Angel Reese, that's right, who's made a huge name for herself, especially off the court with her endorsements, McDonald's, Victoria's Secrets, everything else. The Chicago Sky traded the two-time WNBA All-Star to the Atlanta Dream in exchange for 2 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Chip, this is huge for the Atlanta Dream because I think it helps their chances as far as competing. And I think with Angel Reese, with the right type of tutelage, there's nowhere to go but up to improve her game. I don't think she can be the number one option. Nevertheless, you can be a key component on the team. And I still think she needs to work on her offensive game. But yet and still, she's going to give you 13, 14 points a night with 11 and 12 rebounds. Last year, she led the league in rebounding. After all, she coined the term me-bounds.
Yeah.
So I think with Angel Reese, this is going to help the Dream as far as with rim protection. She's definitely going to give them an opportunity for points, offensive chances. So I like that for the Atlanta Dream. And after all, it's in Atlanta. So you go from one black market to Chicago to Atlanta. And we all know how big, how prominent of a city Atlanta is, particularly when it comes to the black market, the HBCUs, the fashion, the modeling, and actress. Eventually, champ, I do see Angel Reese on a Tyler Perry show. I do see that one day. I really do. Because I really think
The reason I'm laughing, I'm not laughing at what you're saying, but it is, it's right there for you. It's right there for you. It's yours for the taking. So it's going to be interesting. And to your point, Angel doesn't have to be the number one option like she did in Chicago. She doesn't.
And to your point, I think you and BRF touched on it. There was her and who's the other big from Chicago? Caruso, I think.
It was Camila. It was her, Camila Cardozo in Chicago.
Cardozo.
Cardozo.
They're
Those
better
were the main
off
two
without each other. They're better off without each other. I just think Cardozo, she plays better without Angel Reese. And for whatever, that was another reason I think that's why Chicago decided to trade Angel Reese. There were also reports about them moving on from Angel Reese anyway.
Yeah.
So I think for Atlanta, this is great. You in a big market like Atlanta, a black one, and you know how she is to the celebrities, and it's also going to help her with her branding. I mean, think about it. You were in Chicago, and then that's a big market, and look at the amount of celebrities you had. One of the celebrities who I think lives in Atlanta, Lotto. You had her
Yeah.
on your podcast, and Glorilla, who's from Memphis, and we're gonna get into Memphis later on in the show. She lives in Atlanta now. So this is going to be great for Angel Reese as far as the branding, her podcasting, and meanwhile with the basketball, with the amount of talent. And it's going to help her with more.
Monyo.
So I like it. I think the Atlanta Dream won this one. Only time will tell to see what the Chicago Sky could do, but I don't really trust them at this point as far as management. But when I look at the Dream, they won this trade, hands down, because I have a two-time All-Star who's led the WNBA in rebounding, who's going to give me 13, 14 points, who still needs to improve her game. But if Angel Reese can improve a little bit more, I could see Angel Reese averaging around 16, 17 with 12, 13 rebounds. And you'll definitely hear more of the conversations for her Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
So the Atlanta Dream, hands down, they won this one. I think the teams that are going to be in their way, however, champ, the New York Liberty, the Minnesota Lynx, the Las Vegas Aces, the Los Angeles Sparks, they picked up the 10-time All-Star. So there's going to be some teams in their way, but I do think adding Angel Reese to the team is better because you get somebody who's a tremendous rebounder, a great rim protector, and who provides a spark and plus to the team. And off the court, it's great because, like I said, the black market, HBCUs, acting. I definitely see her doing a Tyler Perry show or going on a Tyler Perry episode, and I definitely see her doing bigger things for Atlanta. So I love it. What are your thoughts?
Hell of a job, Atlanta. This is equivalent to Michael Vick coming to town. This is that big. Her jersey sold out in less than 30 minutes. Less than 30 minutes. Tickets for them and versus the Las Vegas Aces, the season opener, went up 15 times 15 when that trade happened. They damn near sold out right now.
Sold out on day one.
On day one, they damn near, those tickets against the Atlanta Dream versus the Las Vegas Aces, the defending champions, are damn near sold out now. Look, Angel doesn't have to be the best player on this team. She doesn't. Just like she didn't have to be the best player on her team back at LSU. She has to be the best version of herself. And that's rebounding, defense, and guess what? Inside scoring. She doesn't have to bring the ball down. She'll probably be made on good nights, she'll be the third option. On bad nights, she'll be probably the fourth. And she has help down low now. She has a 5-time All-Star in the form of Breonna Jones. The first option is going to be Alicia Gray, shooting guard, who was an MVP candidate last year. Then Ryan Howard. She's a great defensive guard. They just re-signed Niles Hillman. They have Papa, the greatest smile in the WNBA, that's coming back. That helps with a lot of scoring coming off the bench. So this team was contending last year until, unfortunately, they ran into the Indiana Fever and Kelsey Mitchell last year. So they traded her to a contender. And guess what? If the Chicago Sky play their cards right, they can very much do a lot of great things in these next 2 drafts. Now, it's going to be up to them to do it because you have the superstars that are coming out. The next 4 drafts, you have a chance to be great. You already have Cardozo. You already have Haley Van Lift. Okay, who are you going to take this year? You're going to take Flage? Or you're going to move up in order to Kate, AC Fudd? What are you going to do? Are you going to wait till next year and address the other big situation and take Audie Crooks? You have a lot of opportunity.
Or they could go to another, or they could try with Juju.
Yeah, or you could try tanking and just try to go get Juju. So there's a lot of things that you have to address. And look, rumor had it that they were trying to trade Ariel Atkins for the great Rukia Jackson. So in order to provide them a lot of much needed scoring. So there's a lot of things that the Chicago Sky have to address. They have been a monster as far as being a down franchise is concerned. Look, Angel Reese is not the only superstar that they have fumbled. They fumbled Courtney Vandersloot. They fumbled Candace Parker. They fumbled Courtney Williams, Gabby Williams. They fumbled a hell of a lot of superstars. This ain't just something that just started when Angel Reese got to the Chicago Sky.
Who's the other tall basketball player champ? She's white with the blonde hair. I think it
I
was
know
like L. I can't.
Courtney Vandersloot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's back on their team now, but they fumbled her as well. They fumbled a lot of great players. So this ain't nothing that just got started when Angel Reese got there. They had that one magical year in 2021 when they won with Candace Parker and company, and they haven't done anything since. So they have a habit of fumbling great players.
Not to mention Ella Del Don.
Yes.
That's the player I was referring to, champ.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Vandersloot. Sorry about that.
No, I remember her because I saw her from time to time because I used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods. I saw some of the WNBA, but I actually liked her in terms of her shooting scoring ability. So they missed the bag on her.
Yeah. So there's a lot of great players that the Chicago Sky have fumbled on. And Angel Reese is not the first, and she probably won't be the last. So I'll never forget Angel Reese asking Gabby Williams, who's probably going to end up leaving the Seattle Storm, hey, would you consider coming back to Chicago? And considering how badly Gabby Williams was treated in Chicago, she was like, I'm sorry, Love you, Angel, but I would never consider going back to Chicago. Yeah. So she's not the first major superstar that has been fumbled by the Chicago Sky. And look, like I stated, Angel doesn't have to be the best player on the court like she was back in Chicago. She has to stick to her strengths and help this team go to a championship because unfortunately, especially when you go to a great team that was predicted to kind of go to a championship run last year, that is the expectation. They got stopped by the Indiana Fever last year. They got stopped in the first round. So unfortunately, it's championship or bust right now for the next couple of years. So you got to win the championship. And you got to bring a championship to the city of Atlanta, which will bring a hell of a lot of notoriety to Atlanta. You know, you got the Braves, you're going to be in a city that is yearning for a winner. They're yearning for a winner. We've been yearning for another winner ever since we won that World Series a couple of years ago. Yearning for a winner. And you have winners.
I know one damn thing. Your ass is gonna spend a shit ton of money to go to them games. I know
Oh
that
yeah,
for a fact.
I already got my ticket to go to them versus the Toronto Tempo at State Farm Arena. Good deal on that ticket, but you know, I ain't finna give away too many secrets because I'm trying to go see a lot more WNBA games so I can support the women and, you know, try to put some more money in their pocket because there's gonna be another collective bargaining agreement, and I'd like to see the max contract go up to $10 million rather than just $1 million. That's just me. I'm just being real. So I want to see that. But Angel doesn't have to be the best player on that team. She doesn't have to bring it down anymore. She doesn't have to. She has to play just like she played on those Olympic teams. Now, every night, just like she was on those Olympic teams, she's not going to have double double every single night. Understandably. But don't be the reason that they lose. Go to Atlanta, get your rebounds, hit the key shot that you need, and guess what? And join Brianna Jones, and y'all put that front court on Demon Time. And I think Brittany Griner is going to be playing center, so you're going to have a lot of help in the middle.
No,
You're not gonna,
Brittany has no choice but to play center
yeah,
because Angel's more fluid. She's a better athlete in terms of moving on the floor than she is at the five.
yeah,
Plus, Brittany Griner is bigger. Obviously, Brittany Griner is what, a legit 6'8",
yeah.
six
She's
nine.
6'8". Then you know
Angel's about six. Yeah,
Brianna Jones, she's 6'4". So Angel's going to probably be going back to small forward. So she's not going to have to be the best player on that floor. They have a lot of scorers on that team that's going to be able to get the job done. It's going to be championship or bust this year and for the next couple of years because they signed Alicia Grant, a lot of other great players to long-term deals. And guess what? You're going to be burdened with a championship. And I think this helps the league. The main reason why it wasn't a rivalry with the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever because the Chicago Sky, unfortunately, they suck. And like I stated on the Uncensored show, the real reason why the rivalry could never come into fruition is because when your team's not very, very good and you are the star on a low caliber team, it's never going to be a rivalry. It's never going to be a rivalry. People have got to understand this. With Bird and Magic, it wasn't just Bird and Magic. It was the teams that were built around them. Caitlin Clark had a team that was built around her. She came into the league with an Aaliyah Boston, with a Kelsey Mitchell. So she had players on that team. Remember, Aaliyah Boston, Boston Market, she was Rookie of the year before Caitlin Clark got there. Kelsey Mitchell was a two-time All-Star before Caitlin Clark got there. So there were pieces in place already. And they showed that by going all the way to the conference finals without her there. They nearly beat the Las Vegas Aces in order to get to the finals with damn near 10 players on injured reserve. So they proved they could win without her on the court. So all of those pieces that they had there before Caitlin Clark, guess what? They showed what they could really do last year. It came, all the fruit that was there, it bared and it harvested that year. It was a magical year. They had over 12 different players on injured reserve, and they still was able to damn near make it to the final. Push the Las Vegas Aces to the limit. Damn near beat them. So there's going to be a lot of situations to where
No, he got it now. Yeah, come on, Jib. Don't Casual's a smart brother, but I think for Chicago, it has more to do with the organization than Angel Reese.
Yeah, and the
Far
coaching
more
too.
with the
They
organization
changed
because
the
I
coaching
mentioned
in 1 year. They changed it from Teaspoon, Teresa Witherspoon, who's a Hall of Famer, and
and
they
knows her
changed it.
basketball
Yeah,
and is tough, very disciplined. But Angel Reese just has to be the Angel Reese of what she was in LSU and from the Olympics teams.
yeah,
All she has to do is just we expect you to handle your business by in the paint, getting the rebounds, playing as hard as you can, and still be the person that you are. And I think Angel is going to be comfortable with that because of what she brings off the court. And on the court, all we just ask her to do is just play, improve your play as much as you can, and just do what you can. You're not asking Angel Reese to score 30 a night. That's not what you're asking her to do. Get you 12, 13 rebounds, get you your 10, 12, 13 points, and just play as hard as you can. And as long as she can do that, and as long as she's a key component, nothing else matters. And I got news for people who may hate on Angel Reese. Angel Reese is going to go to the Hall of Fame. I don't know if anyone notices, champ. Remember, it's the Naismith Hall of Fame, which means they factor everything into consideration:
yeah,
high school, college, the Olympics. Angel Reese has won what three state championships in high school. She's won a national championship at LSU.
yeah,
She's been to 2 WNBA All-Star appearances. The Olympics work. So it's fair to say, I believe when it's all said and done, she's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
yeah. And in Chicago, like I stated, you can't ask a damn power forward that's a defensive power forward to be a point guard and be your highest scorer every single night. There was
That's very unlikely, Chip.
yeah,
You can't ask her to do that because you're asking her to be something that she's not, and plus you're incorporating so much responsibilities on her. Would I love to see more versatility from Angel Reese? Yes. But in year 2 in her career,
yeah. That's what I said, that's not her game. It's not what she did at LSU. Yeah, her game was more like she'll get you some perimeter scoring every now and then, but that's not her game.
right.
Like your best two players, especially in a league that strives off of shooters, you can't just have your two best players be big and you not have any wing players. Have you noticed this? The Chicago Sky was at their best when Camila Cardoza and Angel Reese were there, and they had Kennedy Carter and Marina Mabry. Hey, they was on their way to the playoffs when Marina Mabry and Kennedy Carter were there.
And before last year, all this talk about Caitlin Clark, when Caitlin Clark was in the funk, Angel Reese was starting to heat up late in her rookie season. There were discussions about her for Rookie of the Year until Caitlin Clark.
And then
So
she broke a wrist. Remember, she broke a wrist again.
yes,
So
but I think this is a huge move for Atlanta, champ. I'm happy. This will be a great opportunity for her to rejuvenate her career. I think just give her some time. We'll see how it goes. But I know for a fact you and Ace and the family are definitely going to be going to some Atlanta Dream games other than the Atlanta Falcons.
yeah, I've been to the Hawks. I'm waiting to go to my Braves. Got to go see the Atlanta Dream. Like I stated, I didn't get a chance to go see them last year because I was so possessed with going to see the Braves, and it's hard to get. It was hard to get tickets to the Braves, although they were losing last year. But this is a big thing for Atlanta, man, especially to have a black woman to be in a city like that where black women are thriving. That is not only an example for there's not only win for black Atlanta. That's a win for young black women in their 20s to see not only someone who looks like you being a WNBA All Star because look let's just be real, talent is so deep in the WNBA. For you to be an All Star, you have to do something right. It's not just fan voting. The coaches and the players vote and everything. So it's not just fan voting. It's coaches and the players have to vote. The media has to vote. Guess what? It's not just pure fan vote. Let's
Yeah,
just get
you have to take everything into consideration. But Atlanta is a beautiful place to go to.
yeah.
And I wouldn't mind living in Atlanta. I mean, heck, I get the good, delicious food. I get my hair braided and shit.
Yeah, just
Hey,
that damn Atlanta traffic is the it's just that rush hour traffic, man. It takes 30 minutes to get to everything in Atlanta, no matter how close you are to it because of that traffic, man. Especially around 5 o'clock.
I hope they got some good bars in Atlanta.
Oh, man, bro, they got barcades in a lot of the best bars you ever want to be in, man. So yeah, a lot of great bars, man. I've been to them, a lot of them. Yeah, one day I got to get you down here, and then one day I got to come up to your turf, and then I bring you down to my turf, and we'll go from there. But
I'll go to your turf first because I want to go to the South.
yeah, alright.
But I know
But
you're gonna go to I know you're gonna go to Waffle House.
yeah, Waffle. I don't think people understand this. Waffle House is a place that you go when you are lit up like a Christmas tree. You drunk. You've been sipping
Mm-hmm.
on that Billy D, and you looking for something to eat. Waffle House is not a place you go to. That's your first choice. But yeah, that's not a
When you're
place you go
hungry
to
as hell.
when you're
But they
hungry as
got some
hell.
good
Yeah,
food though.
go. But that's not your first choice when you go to Waffle House. But I digress. But Atlanta Dream got a chance to do something special. And I'm hoping that it does renew the rivalry. I hope that Atlanta and Indiana does get a chance to play in a playoff series, much like they did last year. I'm hoping that they do, and I'm hoping that they do go head up. And I'm hoping that this, opens back up a lot of not the bad stuff when it comes to a rivalry, but the television viewership. Because guess what? When you have a rivalry, good or bad, it helps the sport. And I think that it's going to help the rivalry and it's going to renew it. Because, like I said, the Chicago Sky was kind of bad. But, you know, look, rivalries create heroes, rivalries create villains. And no matter what side you're on, you're going to be in tune. And when you have a hero and a villain in the sport, guess what? Of course, you're going to stay tuned to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Casual. I know some people they say otherwise, champ. And and the only thing with the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese, I'm just tired of like the rivalry or controversy, the type of stuff in order for us to hype up with the WNBA. Let's just focus more on the game.
Yeah.
But speaking but speaking of controversy, champ, God, Lord have mercy. LeBron, obviously, he was at the golf course and he talked about Memphis, how the team they should move to Nashville because there's a lot more interesting things to do there. You got the hockey team, I think it's the Predators,
Yeah,
Nashville
Predators.
Predators. You got the Vanderbilt Commodores. Nashville obviously is a better market than Memphis, and he said, "Look, the best chance that the Memphis Grizzlies they could have had me was 2003." And he said, "I would even pull an Eli Manning." Casual continue to go further. By the way, I disagree with y'all being minority of foreign office. I'll rock with it for now. I mean, we respectfully disagree, Casual, but that's why you the genius.
Yeah, that's why you the subject matter expert. And yeah, whenever you say something, I take it as law, man. So whenever you disagree, I know you have a hell of a reason to disagree. You ain't like a lot of these other like trolls who just come out just saying stuff out of their neck. Hey, let me tell you something, and then I will go back. When Casual says something, you just believe he has a dictionary in order to back up what he's saying.
In
He has
fairness
the
to
dictionary, the
do
source, and
you
the
do
encyclopedia in order to back
do,
up what he's. So when he
do you
disagrees
remember
with something, I take it to law.
do you remember he was on Brandon from the Block show and he was making the argument about Allen Iverson. Remember, he didn't say Allen Iverson is one of the face of the NBA, but one of the faces.
Yeah,
And I mentioned to you, champ, after the conversation, everything Casual said was true. Good
yeah,
or bad, Allen Iverson was one of the faces for the NBA because people admired and revered his size at 5'11", 106, 150 pounds, soaking wet. Not to mention the arm sleeves, the headbands,
yeah,
everything else that he wore. And remember, the do-rags, the baggy jeans, the Timbs, it was equivalent to every cat out here in New York, in Chicago, in Detroit, and LA.
yeah.
And remember, rest his soul, David Stern, the commissioner,
Good
implemented the
stuff.
dress code. Who do you think that played a role with it when it came to the dress code? Allen
Allen
Iverson?
Iverson.
And you even said yourself growing up, Allen Iverson was not your cup of tea. You
No.
were the darker version of Class Act.
Yeah.
The character portrayed by one of the great rap groups, Kid and Play, Christopher Kid Reed. But later on, you admired and you finally realized just how impactful Allen Iverson was.
Yeah. I realized that after I grew up. When I was growing up, I hated Allen Iverson. I was a Kobe guy. I hated Allen Iverson.
Shaq.
I mean, Kobe and Shaq, those were the guys I loved because, it's just like I said, the way I grew up, like I stated, people think that it's a thing about black and white. It's really a thing about young and old. My father wanted me to dress a certain way. I always had to wear a tie to school. I always had to wear loafers to school. I was wearing sports coats when I was 13 years old. You know, hey, he always told me, before you go somewhere, put your sports coat on. Make sure when you get off that bus, you go play football or whatever sport I was playing, whether I was boxing or whatever. Make sure you get off that bus, they see a degree of professionalism in you. I know you're 13, but that's what you're gonna have to go through in corporate America once you get there. So this wasn't when people talk about things like Allen Iverson, people think it's a case of black and white. Sometimes it's a lot of young and old because that's how he grew up. You had to present yourself a certain way in order to be taken serious. So I inherited that. But it wasn't until I got old. I think I was around 25 when I was like, damn, Allen Iverson was really that dude. And a lot of the stuff, because by that time, the world got a little bit more progressive, I will say, and I do use that term loosely, progressive, and it was a little bit more acceptable. But back then, if you go back and look at it, it wasn't just white reporters saying that about Allen Iverson. It was black reporters saying that about him too, about the thug element. Go back and look at it.
Yeah, and look at Jason Whitlock and all the things he said about Allen Iverson, and look at him now.
It wasn't
And
just Jason Whitlock. It was a lot
no,
of other black reporters.
there were other black reporters, but Jason Whitlock was a key role champ. And I've also told you, and your father even said the same thing. People who wear suits and ties, they're perceived as good and innocent people. Are we sure about that?
Yeah,
Because
yep,
we've seen a lot of people wearing suit and ties in court.
yeah. And they the biggest criminals in in the building.
In the words of Chuck D, now more than ever.
Exactly. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't a case of black and white. It was a case of
No,
young and old.
it was young old too.
Yeah, a
But
lot
I
of cases
think
of young and old. But casual, but to your point, casual, yeah. If he disagrees with something, he got the dictionary. So I mean, hey, I have no problem.
he ain't got a dictionary. He got a thesaurus. He got a Bible. He got a lot of shit, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
So that's
he's from this, and he lives in the South too. He lives in Texas. Let's keep it.
yeah, be careful out there in Houston, the casual.
In-
Be careful out there in Houston, casual. Don't get caught up out there.
well, there's Onyx. There's
It is
Onyx.
honest, yeah.
Yeah.